Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, and your sommelier of sci-fi. I'm going to have to come up with some kind of a collector name. Robert Meyer Burnett, and I'm here with the first episode of Fully Articulated. And let me tell you, this might be the geekiest stream you will ever watch. And I am so honored to have as my first guest, all the way from, well, England. My God, he's come all the way from the UK. You know him as heel versus babyface. Welcome to the first episode of Fully Articulated. Are you feeling yourself fully articulated today?
You could have just stopped at "Are you feeling yourself?" and then that would have been fine, you know.
Cancelled.
Yeah, maybe. I tried this morning, got a bit bored, stopped. You know, maybe later on. I don't know. After doing a show like this, when we did last week's show, very much in the mood after that. Very excited when we did that show. So
I have to say, I was too. My nether regions were fully engorged with excitement, but not the kind that you want. You know, I guess the kind we get. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you get what you need.
They knew what they were talking about.
Well, you know, it's funny. We had so much fun doing 18 episodes of The Prisoner show. We did a pre-show, then we did 18 episodes reviewing The Prisoner, and during this time, you and I were constantly, like, when we first met online, I didn't realize that you and I parked our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay, that we collected action figures, and I didn't realize you were a Warhammer figure painter and that you had Prime 1 statues. I had no idea just how alike. We might be different in some ways, but where it really counts, how much plastic do you really have? Well,
yeah, I got a lot of plastic. I think we're very similar in as much as what we like. I think there's just very little we actually disagree on if you really knuckle down to it.
I do too.
It's what binds you that you should really care about. It's what unites you with people. That's the important part, not what separates you. Find your commonalities, and when you find commonalities with people, grow something. You know, talk about something, grow something.
I totally agree. You know, and I think since this show, I've been talking about doing this show for a long time. And I never launched it, and I wanted to do some kind of a show to celebrate all of these collectibles that we love so much. And the thing about it is, people have said, and I've often wondered, like my mom always says to me, she goes, you know, you're buying the same stuff you bought when you were 8. Aren't you, like, can't you go buy Picassos or something? Like, isn't there something else?
Or something?
and my mom is,
piano or something, you know. That's what my mom's like.
And it's like, what? So I guess I'm going to ask you again, since we're doing this again, why do you think, I mean, I think that we might be the first generation, or at least, you know, Gen X, Gen Y, the first generation that has actually grown up. I think maybe it's because post-Star Wars toys, we've grown up and we've seen our toys evolve. Like there were Star Wars toys when the first Star Wars came out back in 1977. Well, they didn't come out in 77 because you had to buy an early bird set that Christmas and then wait for them to ship you the toys.
Yeah.
But as we have matured, some would say, have you matured? Yeah. But as we've matured through our lives, our toys, we might be the first generation where our toys have actually evolved. Where, you know, we had little 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures. Now we have beautiful renditions of these characters that are 12 inches and larger, that cost extraordinary amounts of money, and yet we've never been able to give up. They still bring us the same joy we had when we were 8. Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, you hit a decent point when you say it's the evolution of it. When we had our 3 3/4 Star Wars,
right?
As much as we loved them, as much as we played them to death, as literally bits fell off my legs, just dropped off one day. And I'm not talking at the joint. I'm talking the plastic bit. Just like, how did that happen? No idea. Played it to death. So we used to play with these to death, but they were very limited. And we used to have to use our imaginations to create the stories that we wanted to tell. I mean, when I was a kid, the stories were fantastic. I'm sure if I was watching back now through a lens of a middle-aged man, they'd be like, "Oh, kids, hey, bless them." But you suddenly find yourself in a position where you have disposable income. I think the world has evolved a lot in the last 30 years, just in as much I think our standard of living is much higher. Life's good.
Right.
Although, we get told all the time about how death, disease, pestilence, bad, death, die, fear, scare, all over the place. No, life's actually really good.
Really good.
Really, really good. You go outside, life's good. You earn a living. You can not only afford a decent house nowadays, you can, afford yourself some luxury, some disposable income. And then, if you have the geek bug that we do, and then suddenly these 3 3/4 are turning into 12-inch multi-articulate, highly detailed,
tailored clothing,
rendered. Yeah, it's just it'd be a travesty not to partake. Although we might not be able to get hundreds of them.
Speak for yourself, boy.
One back a little bit later. It's just a joy to be able to sort of realize the toys that we had as a kid in the way that their true final form.
Right.
Without getting into an actual costume ourselves and kinking it up. But it's kind of like in its true final form. It's just one of these just crazy articulated, crazy detailed. Now with the computer imagery, we can get the faces absolutely. They never look like any. Leia? What? No. Luke? No. It was an 8-year-old exploded boy face.
Right.
They never look like anything about the characters. It'd be like, okay, Luke's got blonde hair, Han's got dark hair. That's the best that we're going to pretty much get. And Leia's got a couple of buns on her head. But now, of course, they look identical because of the computer imagery, which can be used to capture the fully rounded faces. So I think there's always going to be an inner kid with us, especially if you're into geeky stuff. There's always going to be that inner child, that inner geek. And when you have the means, and if you have a little bit of that disposable every now and again, then there are worse. I'd rather do this than drugs. So I say to my family.
It depends what kind of MDMA you can get.
Yeah.
No, but it's funny to me, too. I think there's also a component of, well, certainly there's the joy. There's the joy of finally having the realization. I feel the same way about, like, 4K discs. It is the end of the line. I've been buying physical media. I started with VHS tapes. Then it was laser discs. Then it was DVDs. Then it was Blu-rays. And now we've reached 4K. That'll be the end of physical media as we know it. And I feel that the toys, until, when you can play augmented reality games and you can go in and play VR games, I don't know if you're going to even need toys anymore sitting on a shelf, because you'll be able to combat these things for real in virtual environments. And, one of the things that when I was a kid, I loved spaceship models. And I loved building spaceship models. And like I never really understood when I watched Star Wars. I didn't really get how the Millennium Falcon, what was its configuration internally. It was hard to see how the ship looked. And when you'd get a model kit of it and you'd put it together, you're like, oh, now I understand the proportions, because certainly the Kenner toys proportions weren't correct. They've got this exploded cockpit, and you're like, well, wait a minute. How are they supposed to walk back into the ship when the ship is way too small? You've got the big cockpit, and you used to it would annoy the fuck out of me. I'm like, what? Can't they make it? I mean, I know it as a kid, as I got older, I'm like, I couldn't make it that big because it would cost $1,000. Now I'm like, so what? Make it cost $1,000. This isn't, as evidenced by this, the things that you can get now. I mean, it's amazing. But I have to say that the toys that I got when I was a kid, even though you had to use your imagination, they also sort of were disappointing. So as a kid, at least I would have to resolve myself to the fact that well, I guess this is good enough. I guess it's okay. You know?
When the G.I. Joe figures came out,
Oh, those were...
In the UK, we called them Action Force. And it came under a license. Before the G.I. Joe stuff came out, we had Action Force anyway, and they were still the 3 3/4 with the straight arms, straight legs. And then the Action Force, which you know as G.I. Joes, came out. Bazooka and Snake Eyes and all this stuff. And they were articulated.
And they were great.
Yeah. And so as a kid, when they came out, I was just like, oh, this is what I want. And so when I was like, if I had the opportunity to purchase one, which would mean maybe twice a year, one on my birthday, maybe one at Christmas, or a couple at Christmas if I was really lucky, I would always look. I don't know about you, but it'd be funny to play this game with the audience. I would always look for one that had the most accessories.
Of course,
because I was wanting that bang for my buck. Yep. I was wanting the katana with the gun. I wanted the snake eyes with the white wolf. You know, I wanted the ones that gave me, the ones that had like figure and one gun. I was like, no. No, unless it was a really cool looking Cobra soldier. And we were getting them because they look like Nazis. But that was the whole point. And who made the Nazi costumes? Hugo Boss. Yeah. So, you know, they were like tailored design stuff. So we were looking at them from a design perspective as well. God, they just, you know, they look cool because their outfits look really cool. But I was always going for those articulated ones. Those had the most accessories. I like Destro. Destro was a cool one.
That was a very cool figure.
Suitcase, and he had his gun, but his suitcase opened up, and you could put the gun into the suitcase. And in the suitcase, when you opened it up, it looked like there was like grenades and all kinds of kerfuffle to play with on that one. So that was, but he looked cool as well. So it's like, okay, I can do that. So yeah, when they articulated what toys came out, he really upped the game for others.
Yeah, see, that was after me because I had 12-inch G.I. Joes when I was a kid, and they were my favorite things in the world. And then they gave way to Mego toys, like the Mego 8-inch superhero figures, and they had a lot of licensed figures like Planet of the Apes, and they did later on they did Star Trek: The Motion Picture and the Black Hole figures. But I was a little too old to get into the articulated G.I. Joes. I mean, that's ridiculous to say now, but because when I looked at those, the great thing about that G.I. Joe line or the Action Man line was it wasn't just the figures that were great, it was the vehicles. You know, they made and they were basically in scale. Like when I was growing up, the vehicles were all too small because they could never be, they would be too big. If you had 6-scale figures that had 6-scale vehicles, it'd be huge. But the G.I. Joe line had like the mobile support vehicle and an airboat and a helicopter that was very cool. But that G.I. Joe line had the USS Flag, the aircraft carrier. And then you could have the F-14 Tomcat that you had. I mean, it was insane.
I was never going to get one of them. We couldn't afford. We couldn't afford. So if I got a figure, I was lucky.
You never had the terror drome. See, that was the thing. I would look at that and I'm like, I don't have enough money to buy all this stuff, but I wanted it.
The Transformer 2 cassettes for Soundwave. And we have this local supermarket called Morrison's. And they had one in, and it was £4.99, and that's back in '88. Nowadays, you think a fiver, take 2, take 4. But in those days, that's a lot of money. A fiver was a lot of money, and we couldn't afford it. We were a single parent family, 3 kids, mum not working,
right?
You know, so we're on kind of like welfare for a lot of it.
You're on the dole,
yeah, sort of thing, yeah, So what I did, again, we're going to play this game again. I went and I found a £2.99 sticker because the prices, you weren't barcoded. There were stickers on the thing. Right. And I peeled it off something. And then I went to this thing and I put it on. I was like, Mom, look, it's $2.99. So she took it. She's like, okay, I'll get you this. And I was just like, I did it. Got to the checkout, and then the woman at checkout clearly see where someone's been And she's like, I don't think this is the right price. And she like peeled it off and had the $4.99 underneath. And she's like, it's $4.99, and I was sort of like, my mum just, well, we can't get it, and I was just.
I mean, what a difference! How many quid is that? What a difference in quid makes.
Yeah. Hold on, £5. I want to see now. £5 in 1988. Let's just say today, it would be about £12 today. So £12 for a couple of little plastic cassettes to go into your Soundwave. Yeah, I can understand, a parent being like, no, that's 12 quid that I can put towards electricity.
Right. So, food for the rest of the kids.
Yeah. So.
No, I mean, maybe that's also part of it. We couldn't have everything.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, my parents, I was not a kid that wanted everything. Like we would get, did you have Sears in the UK?
No.
Well, Sears and JCPenney's were both these big department stores, and every year Sears would put out the Wish Book in September for Christmas. The Sears Wish Book, and it had a massive toy. It's a big, thick, it looked like a phone book. And then they would have their toy section.
Catalogs and Littlewood's catalogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, big. But this was like thick, and their toy section was huge.
Yeah.
So you would start paging through it in September and dreaming about what you wanted, and they would have like exclusive Star Wars toys, like they had the Cantina, and it would just be a cardboard Cantina, but it would come with like the small blue snaggletooth, or the exclusive figures that are now worth a fortune. And it was the kind of thing where, you would look at these pictures, and on the page they would sometimes have environments, like for the big G.I. Joes, they would be like on a sand dune and shoot all the different things on a sand. And you would just look at this stuff, and I used to look at it like on a daily basis and just be like, I want this so bad, and I wasn't the kid. I didn't want everything. I was very specific, which annoyed my mom because she could never surprise me. She's like, are you sure this is what you want? I'm like, yes, this is what I want. And when I would get something that wasn't what I wanted, I'd be like annoyed. Like, Mom, I don't collect Big Jim. That's Amigo thing. I only collect G.I. Joe. Yes, but Big Jim is cool. They have animals. I'm like, look, I don't want to go trap a rhinoceros, Mom. I want to kill terrorists. It's and it was the kind of thing where you'd have to explain that to people.
Yeah.
And
we were so poor. We got the catalog for Christmas, so we could just look at the catalog and see what we could have had. That's kind of like where we were for most of the time. But
my parents, we weren't poor, but there were times when my parents would draw the line. Like there was a price point. I think it was anything that was beyond $9.99. Like that was it. And the only time you could go beyond that was for Christmas or your birthday or something. And I remember, I think I told this story before, but Dinky, the toy company Dinky, which was out of the UK, they made die-cast planes and cars. The first time I came across the Space 1999 Eagle transporter, the first Dinky toy, and it was $15. And my father was like, and this is like 1976 or something, 77. And my dad he's like, are you crazy? Like, I remember him in this, like, what are you, $15? Look at that. That's a tiny little, I mean, it was about a foot long or something, but yeah. And I go, but Dad, it's all die-cast metal, and it comes apart, and it's like,
you click thing in the tap.
Yeah, you know it. And
I got it.
Oh, I've been buying all the new ones that 1612 has been making. But my dad would not, like, I had to walk out of the store, and I didn't usually get that way. I was never one of these kids that would scream if I didn't get what I wanted. But this was so cool, and it looked, it was one of the first toys that looked, even though the colors were weird. The one I saw, there's a green, it was green and blue, and then white. And I was like, why is it green or blue? But it looked, the proportions were correct, and it looked real. It looked like, wow. Like all the other toys, it never looked. The Dinky made a Starship Enterprise that was ridiculous. It didn't look anything like the Enterprise. It fired these. I had it, but it was just ridiculous. But I remember that was the first time I ever saw a toy where I left the store feeling, this sucks. I was like mad. I'm like, why don't I have this? And I was thinking, I thought about it for weeks. How does this thing exist and I don't have it? You know.
I know you. Well, I mean, I love Transformers. I just love the whole idea of Transformers 2-in-1. They convert these amazing robots. There was the cartoon, and never missed the cartoon. And I do recall going to a local. We had a local toy shop where we were, as opposed to like a, franchise, whatever. And I think it was my birthday, and my mum said, "You can have one Transformer," and I think it was kind of like yourself, but it's got to be under. It's got £10 is your limit,
right?
And you can have one. And they had like the range that they had was insane. I mean, you're just looking at, how can I have one? How? And then the one that I really wanted was Jazz, and they didn't have Jazz. But then my eyes saw Sideswipe, and I was like, because I loved Lamborghini Diablo and the stuff like that, and the Lancia Stratos and stuff. These were mega cars when we were a kid. Lamborghini Countach.
Yeah.
Not Diablo, the Countach. So yeah, the Countach was like my dream car. So I suddenly see Sideswipe. It's my dream car in red. And I'm just thinking, I got to have this. So Sideswipe became my first Transformer, and I still have it in this box down here. It's destroyed. It's absolutely annihilated. No arm, arms broken off and all that kind of stuff. But it means the world to me still. I say that, if somebody stuck a gun to my head and said I want it Sideswipe, I'd go, fucking take it. It's broken. I don't fucking care. But it's just like one of those things which has just stayed with me all throughout my life. And like in these boxes here, I did a stream, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, with a couple of people, and these were like in here are like my toys from when I was a kid, what I've got remaining.
Right.
So there's like Star Wars figures, a couple of G.I. Joes, think He-Man and Skeletor's in there somewhere, some Transformers. What I have remaining, what hasn't been given away over the years and stuff. Right. And, my Star Wars. Yeah, I got my Snowspeeder intact. It's still fully intact.
And that was a great toy. That Snowspeeder toy was it had like the undulating things in the guns. The first edition of it did, where it looked like it was firing. It was pretty. You press
the button underneath.
Yeah, and, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. That was. That was when the Star Wars toys started. They upped their game. Because the Snowspeeder to me was we talked about this before, but was one of the best of all of the Kenner vehicles. The Snowspeeder and the Y-Wing and the B-Wing. As they move forward, they realized, you go back and you look at that first Land Speeder, which was not good. And it's riding on the proportions were all wrong, and I had it, but you could barely fit R2, 3PO, Luke in it. So you had to be like, okay, well, this is all I have, so what am I going to do?
Yeah, so that's why I got the Black Series. There it is, the Black Series Snowspeeder down there, which has Dax with it, I think, Dax or whatever. And then I've got the Snowspeeder Luke, which could go into that, which is the new 6-figure 40th anniversary. I think you were telling me last week that Jazz Inc. are doing a 1-in-6 Snowspeeder.
Yeah, they are. What's really interesting is, like, we were talking about this. For those of you who don't know, there is a company out of the Netherlands called Jazz Inc. JAZZINC. Dioramas. As a matter of fact, I could probably call it up. I don't want them to get in trouble, though. That's the thing. Do I tell people?
Yeah. They want business. They want business.
But it's just that they're
mouth is a beautiful thing.
They're not exactly licensed. But that's okay.
No, but they call it other things. Well, when they're talking about it, they don't. But it doesn't come boxed as
No.
yeah, like the Batmobile they're getting is the Justice Mobile. But they have spoken to the people who who kind of deal with all this sort of stuff, and they're sort of like fine with it.
Well, I think I think it's because like Hot Toys was going to make to get vehicles for 6 scale figures is cost prohibitive, and you'd have to manufacture. There are some companies, like I really want to get the 1/6 scale Ecto 1 they made for the Ghostbusters figures, because I have all of the Ghostbusters figures, but the Ecto 1 was
obviously the female ones.
No, the originals. And
you're a sexist then. Okay.
The Ecto 1 is $1,500. It's like it's like and the thing is, it's already sold out. So like here, for those people who don't know what we're talking about, here is Jazz Inc. Dioramas, and they make film sets for Star Wars figures, and they're amazing. Like let's see if I can find looking at the projects. They call them projects. If I could find one. Okay. Let's see. They're doing a review. So they're doing a let me get up to here so people can see it. So they're making a 6th scale Batmobile from the original Batman. So this is for the Hot Toys Adam West and Burt Ward Batman show from the 60s, which Hot Toys was going to do but never did. So this company is doing it, and as you can see, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, look at this interior. They are now, again, this is for 6 scale figures, so this thing is huge, and they're adding electronics to it, so it lights up. So like the back, it will light up, and these things are amazing, and you can see the detail. And the thing about this is, what I love about Jazz Inc., and this is probably the most dangerous part about the company, is they allow you to pay something off over 12 months if you want. So this thing is going to sell totally, when it's all said and done, for about $1,300. But hey, if you pay $100 a month, that's like a night out. And now we're all stuck at home. you've got. Yeah, and then if you look at, let's see, they've got other, like you just picked up the Justice Mobile, and that would be this, and this is obviously from Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and this is of course 6th scale, and this is astonishing. And again, they have electronics in it. I mean, the paintwork and the detail, talk about verisimilitude. And there, so for people who don't know, in the cockpit there is the Ben Affleck 6 scale figure. And it's really difficult to... Yeah, that figure is 12 inches alone. So, I mean... And now, did you say you already have yours, or it's coming? You're paying, yeah. And I mean, and what's so great about Jazz Inc. is, as they develop these things and they keep making them better. Like if they find more information on the actual prop, they'll add things. Like they've made that gun thing, it's magnetic and you can replace it. And it's really amazing, the quality. And they could never manufacture these. They could never mass produce these like Hot Toys, because they would never sell enough. So I mean, this thing is amazing. And by the way, that base that it's sitting on is a separate thing they make. Did you order the base as well? Yeah, I don't know, but look at that cockpit that lights up. I mean, how cool. Oh yeah, well let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the back computer. So let's see, is it down? It must be. Oh, now here it is. It's called the Ultimate DX Die-Cast Cave Computer Lab. So they're not infringing on anyone's rights. So here it is again. This is for a 6 scale figure. Oh, you're not getting audio on this one? Oh. I that's bad. I apologize for that. Oops. Well, let me go back to here. You know why? Because I didn't set up audio. I added this to the thing, so I apologize for that. Yes, I didn't add. I apologize for that. I went in and part of the problem with live programming, going out and getting these things, is I do forget to add audio to them. So I will do that now. But so tell us about the Batcave, what it is. What is it that you ordered?
Well, I ordered the what you just showed then, the Justice Mobile and that Bat computer, which again is 6 scale, so it's built for the 12-inch Batman figures. The one that I've ordered for the computer has also lights up. The LED screens on the computer will light up, which will just give it that ultra realistic effect. I've got it for my Justas Lag, which is behind me. So I want to get them all. I want to get them all in the cave, preparing how they're going to take down Darkseid in Zack Snyder's 4-hour wonder film.
Absolutely. I mean, here. Let me hold on a second. I'll rifle through this really quick. I'll go through these pictures because I'll have to figure out. I'll have to put our audio underneath that. This was if I'd done this beforehand, I could have put the audio underneath it. But here, I'll just do this real quick. So as you can see here, all of these screens actually work. So they illuminate, and it's amazing. And it looks like the actual set from the movie. And these guys, they do such an incredible job with this. And I mean, just amazing stuff. And it's
cooler is the Batman v Superman Batman, which I have.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with a in scale to the 1 in 6, but it comes with a tech cowl that Alfred was playing with in the film, so I can put that on the Bat computer at the end of that, where, so it's something which Alfred is dicking about with, which will become later on, as we know, comes the tactical Batman cowl. So yeah, that's going to be quite cool. Just another little addition to add to those.
And for those of you who weren't getting that, all the screens work. They put real flat screen stuff in them. And like this computer lab that we were just looking at, it's $1,349. It's the DX version that lights up. All the screens work. There's die-cast parts and all that. But the great thing about it is, they have a 9-month purchase plan. And a lot of the time, these things haven't even been made yet. For this particular one, they have a 15-month purchase plan. So it's literally you pay it off over 15 months. And I
think I went the 6-monther.
Yeah, the 6-monther, and they take things. The thing, like I've actually, and then what happens a lot of the time with these kinds of things, because they're made, it's basically a father and son duo who are making this stuff. They're making it with it's a labor of love. So sometimes it'll take a lot longer to get whatever you've are buying, because they are making it better. Like something that I've already paid off, and I'll show it. I paid off. They made, speaking of Star Wars, they made a Millennium Falcon cockpit. Yeah, a light up cockpit for the 6th scale action figures that is huge. I mean, it's gigantic, and it lights up, and it has sound effects in it. And here, I'll pop it on real quick just to show everybody what we're talking about. So here is the cockpit, and even the chairs, as they were developing this, they decided they put real fabric on the chairs, and they put more of the controls, and they made this as accurate as possible. And obviously, you can have 4 figures in this, and it's amazing. And again, this is 6th scale. And so there you can see how big this thing actually is. The Han Solo and the Chewbacca that you see here, those are 6 scale figures. So for the very first time, you can get a Millennium Falcon cockpit that has the figures inside. I mean, this looks, you could film if you wanted to, talk about Robot Chicken. I mean, these things are basically sets, and they have the electronics in them, and this has sound effects and all of that. And these are just, it's amazing that we live in a world, and a toy company, nobody could get a license. It would not be cost effective to make this. Now, to be honest, mine's already paid off, you know, but because of the pandemic and all that, I mean, I was paying this off for a year, and it's already paid off, and I received a notice that I'll get it sometime in mid 2021. You know, and to me it's like the ultimate thing to have, because, and what's really cool about this is, if you bought the Han Solo and Chewbacca, they came originally from Hot Toys as a 2-pack. Only the 2-pack came with the headphones that they're wearing when they're flying, because Hot Toys was going to manufacture a Millennium Falcon cockpit, and then they decided, you know, who's going to buy it. They always announce these things like an entire 6-scale Jedi Starfighter, and they never get around to making it, because, like with the 66 Batmobile, everybody wanted it if you watched Batman when you were a kid, you know, and if you had that Corgi.
Like a HasLabs type of deal.
Right.
HasLabs, you know, that's a really cool type of thing that they do.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, for those of people who don't know, and a lot of people have criticized these large companies, whether it's, I've noticed comic book companies, anybody that's like Boom Studios, the comic book company, is doing a Keanu Reeves comic with Keanu Reeves, and they crowdfunded it. You know, and a lot of people were critical of crowdfunding, but and these large companies like, well, this company Hasbro's like billions, it's worth billions of dollars. Like, why should we? Like the Razor Crest from The Mandalorian was the last thing that they're going to do. But the problem is, you know, for something like that, or Jabba's sail barge, or Unicron from the excuse me.
I tried the Unicron, but they won't ship to the UK.
Oh, well, that's when you have to hook.
And at the time, I didn't have American contacts.
Yeah, see, I mean, you have a friend in America, friend in America.
I've made loads of American friends this year, but I had none that I could call upon I was so gutted.
Yeah, and so what they do is they crowdfund these things. So you pay for them in advance, and when they get enough orders, they'll make it. And like the Razor Crest, they wanted 6,000 orders, and they ended up getting like 25,000 orders. Don't all those people feel silly now, though? Ha, ha, ha. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, the Razor Crest, it's still a really cool toy. But the thing is, they don't know when these companies
I never liked the Raven Crest.
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't like it.
I didn't order it, but they don't know if these things would sell, and making large vehicles was always a problem, and so that's why we never got a Jabba's sail barge, you know, and they crowdfunded it and it sold. The Unicron, they made that, and I think even though it's a company, still has to make money, and if we're not gonna get what we want, why not have a HasLabs thing? And if you really want something, pay for it. I think
these are really niche things as well.
Yes.
So you know, anyone who's complaining about this, you know, back in your box. This is something which would cost a lot to develop. Never mind get into production. It's the development of it which would really eat that money up. You know, I don't think they quite appreciate how much work truly goes into the design of these, particularly when you're doing something as detailed as these things are. And like you're talking about with the Jazz Inc. guys, they are constantly tweaking to make it more realistic. Like with the Justice Mobile we were talking about, somebody sent them the blueprints, the legitimate blueprints of the Justice Mobile, so they could really get an accurate. So they changed the spoilers at the back because of it, and adjusted certain elements because of it, certain details that they could mold in because of receiving these. So yeah, if these are very, very specific things. So I think stuff like the HasLabs and stuff like, regardless of whether you pick it up, I think there's nothing wrong whatsoever with saying, hey, we want to do something really niche. We need this many though to put it into production. So if we can't get it, unfortunately, we there's no way that we can. But you every single thing that they've put out has been back to the hilt.
Right.
And there's clearly a collector's market for these items.
Well, yeah, and I think what's strange is, well, not really what's strange, but these licensees or the people that own the IP, like, there's nobody. Disney's going to charge arm and a leg for a Star Wars license, and Hot Toys knows that in order to make what they would have to pay for a license to build a Millennium Falcon cockpit or the Bespin gantry that Luke and Vader fight on at the end of Jedi or at the end of Empire Strikes Back, it would never. They could never make the economics work.
A bit of that.
Yeah, and I mean, I really would love that if they would, but I think like one of my dream things is I want a 6th scale bridge of the Starship Enterprise.
Don't.
That's what I want. And the problem is, QMX has been making great. Wait, where did I put it?
I want to. We were discussing this the other week when you said, if we kind of like had unlimited funds, what kind of stupid thing would we do?
Oh yeah.
I would rebuild the Enterprise D bridge.
100%.
Because that's what I would do.
I mean, this is the 6th scale Captain Sheriff from the original series. Now, if you can plug this into a USB port and it lights up and it makes sounds, I mean, it's really amazing. But this, to me, this is like, well, okay, where's the rest of the bridge? And there are people that have talked about fabricating these things, but the problem is there's never been enough call for Star Trek figures, especially from the original series. QMX, they haven't even made the whole bridge crew. They've made Kirk, they've made Spock, they've made McCoy. Scotty hasn't come out yet, or maybe he did. Sulu.
No, he's on pre-order. Scotty and Sulu on pre-order. I have them on pre-order.
And then I've got Khan. They made Khan from Space Seed, and I have Khan sitting in the captain's chair because that's where he belongs. And this is a great figure. I love this figure. But I would give anything to have an entire 6th scale bridge. And even, because the bridge is wedge shaped, you could have, I'm waiting for Jazz Inc., but the problem is there's not enough 6th scale figures, so there would never be a call to make the whole bridge, which is unfortunate.
Chekhov and Uhura's really the only two left.
That's the only two left. But then you would need to fill up the bridge. You'd need you'd need a yeoman, and you'd need a couple of crewmen to fill out.
You could have yeoman. What's your jiggy? Yeoman blonde-hairy.
Janice Rand. Yeoman Rand.
Yeoman Rand. That's it. You can have Yeoman Rand. You could have Nurse Chapel.
Yep, you could do that, and but again, first of all, where are you going to put? I mean, where are you going to put an entire bridge of the Enterprise? In my mind, I don't care. I just want it.
Sit in the garden with it if I have to.
You could build some giant lucite table to go in the backyard, that's airtight or something. But
I just move to a bigger place.
So I should ask you, do you have anything to show us for this first episode?
You've kind of, I'm going to have to move this guy out of the way to get this out first of all then, because I got some things to show. But since we're on the topic of this, and this is one of the reasons why I'd love to, this is one of my personal favorites, because it is Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
And that's the QMX figure, isn't it?
This is the QMX figure. It looks so much better than the images, especially on the face. The face in the images doesn't do it justice.
Right.
I don't know if I can't tell.
No, it reads. It's great.
And then it's got loads of accessories, phasers and tricorders and stuff like that. No. That's the only accessory. That's the only accessory that Jean-Luc Picard needs is his cup of tea, Earl Grey, hot. The badge actually fell off within a day.
Uh-oh.
So I did actually put some proper glue on, just a little dab, boom, brilliant. The pips on the neck are just phenomenal. And this is Jean-Luc Picard. This is the proper Jean-Luc Picard. The only Jean-Luc Picard. And that profile is just...
Not the dead android Jean-Luc Picard?
Not the dead android Jean-Luc Picard, and not the warmonger from the movies Jean-Luc Picard. This is the thoughtful, insightful Jean-Luc Picard from the TV series who didn't cry every 2 seconds when he was talking to Riker. On its com badge base.
Yep.
And I'm gutted that they haven't announced any more. I would just settle for a data.
Right.
If they would just do a data, I would settle for that. But ultimately, I would love to have the whole crew.
Well, again, QMX, it's hard to even get. They re-released Spock. They re-released Spock and Kirk and Spock in a 2-pack, and you can't. Even those have sold out. And I think it's really frustrating that it's hard to get what you want. Like and
get what you want.
I know. But like, even Hot Toys figured out that they should manufacture more of certain things. And to Hot Toys' credit, the figures that long sell out, they realize how much money they're fetching on the secondary market. So they've started to re-release figures, which are great, and they always make little tweaks and they upgrade their stuff too. Like I never bought the Iron Man from Spider-Man Homecoming, even though I love that suit, the silver suit, and they've recently re-released it, and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind getting that, because I didn't want to pay exorbitant prices on the secondary market, but it's nice to do that. So I've got something.
He's the one who's going for an absolute fortune.
Who's that?
The McCoy.
Oh, yeah. And again, because they thought, who's going to want a Dr. McCoy figure? Like, but
the Star Wars fans that got run off.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Nobody is buying the toy line. It was Art Asylum did an amazing toy line from Star Trek Enterprise with bridge pieces. They almost made the whole bridge. They came, and they were really, those Art Asylum toys were really, really good, but they just didn't sell very well, because what people realize as far as Star Trek is concerned, it's really the Next Generation and the original series that continue to sell. The original series, because it'll always have a retro appeal to people, and for me,
come on, Shatner, man.
Come on. It's the Nimoy and Shatner, and I think that's what's so strange to me is, with new Star Trek, because we can't do a show without bagging on modern Star Trek, because it deserves to be bagged on. Those characters, the design of those uniforms, I hate it. They're too ornate. All the weird gold piping and all of that, and the blue, it's not iconic. And when you put them all together, the characters are not really differentiated. Whereas the brilliance of the original series was because they were trying to appeal to all the new color TV owners of the day, to have the red, green, and gold shirts, the red, green, gold, and red, blue, green, gold. The Shatner's with his wraparound tunics.
The green and gold.
They were beautiful to look at on screen because it was so vibrant and so colorful. And when you see them all lined up, I mean, it's great. Even Khan's red jumpsuit, and I think that really it matters when you want to put something on. Like they make Funko Pops of everything.
Next Gen followed that. This is a very colorful outfit from Jean-Luc. It's a lot of black, but that beautiful color.
Oh, I love
it. It's down at the sides, and then it's up like the logo, like the it's kind of got that little bit of the Enterprise sort of logo, the Starfleet logo there. And then, of course, with the Next Generation, they decided to break it down into command structure.
Right.
So they started to explain the colors. Red was command, yellow was ops and security, blue was science and medical. So that they began to break down how the suit configuration actually worked. And then when DS9 came along, for all its great sort of storytelling, and Voyager, they made it bland. The costumes are awful. Just the color on the top and then it just black.
Yeah,
nice, dreadful, just dreadful out, and they just look like oversized boiler suits. And it was just like all that beautiful. Because when the first two series of Next Gen was on, these were fucking skin tight.
Yeah,
these were based with lycra, very form fitting. You had to look good when you were wearing them, and then because of the way it was dragging the spine down, they had to change it to two pieces from season 3 onwards, which actually allowed them to add the collar in.
Yep.
Which made more sense with the pips, and you got rid of the secondary piping, which just cleaned it up a little bit. And then, boosh, you got iconic Star Trek outfit.
And I loved it in the 5th season. They gave Picard that jacket.
The jacket was great.
Which I really liked as well.
Yeah. And Stuart was the one who asked for it. Stuart was the one who said, look, I'd like something a little bit more comfortable to wear, something which would still be fitting. And if you notice that the jacket himself goes through 2 generations.
Right.
The very first one he wears, this is like leather at the top here, and then from there on in, it's kind of fabriced.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they thought the leather was a little bit too shiny because it looked very shiny, and they needed to dull it down because of the massive studio lighting, of course. So they fabriced, which would absorb the lighting, but still give that same effect.
So I have to ask you, Willow Yang, who's one of the foundational members of our channel here, she says, she sends in a tip, and she says, in the ballpark, how much would you say that you've spent on hot toys up to this point in your life? According to the internet, your net worth is supposedly around $15 million. Oh, that's for me. Yes, the internet says I'm worth $15 million. I'm worth about $15. Where they came up with the idea that I'm worth, if I ever had $1 million to my name, I'll tell you, I would be out there making movies all the time. $15 million. That's ridiculous. My savings account has like $78 in it. I mean, come on. And she says, I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. So Willow is asking me, but I would put it to you. The reason I have no money is because I spend I don't save anything, and I buy stuff. My attitude toward life is, it'd be nice. The life of an independent filmmaker is not one of wealth, and I wish it were. I have many friends that are filthy rich, and they buy supercars for fun, and that would be nice. I mean, I think about that. Oh, I want a Millennium Falcon cockpit. Can I pay it off over 15 months? Yeah. Yes. And then when it's
these things we're talking about, we're also talking about paying them off in monthly installments should give you a clue as to exactly the sort of worth. But I look, I got fucking boxes of stuff in there. If I was to flog it all tomorrow and it all got retail price, I think I'd walk out with 20 grand or so.
Yeah. Oh, if I sold everything here, but a lot of stuff, like I keep my Hot Toys boxes because you can resell them.
I never used to, but it's actually, I've realized that it's actually very valuable to hold on to them. So I've started now to hold on to the external box, the gray box, box.
Those I would throw away. But yes, it is.
But now it's like, no, keep them because it's like proof that it's a legitimate one and not a fake from China.
Well, I got it off Wish. A lot of Hot Toys figures. I mean, when they re-release them, I'm not a toy speculator. I throw boxes away. I don't keep, because if you have to make money, if toys are your investment, you're investing in the wrong thing. I understand as a collector, I do that because you can sell them off, and like Hot Toys, they keep upgrading their figures. And my whole thing is that I don't need 6 different versions of Captain America. I only want the best version of Captain America. So,
but you go through 6 iterations to get there.
right. Well, that's what I've done. I mean, I'll buy a Hot Toys figure, and then when something else comes out, like I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I have a Thor from the first Thor movie. I never upgraded my Thor. I liked the Thor and Loki. Now they've just
the first one was when he had the arms.
Yes.
The sleeves, I should say.
Yes, yeah, the sleeves. Yeah. I had the first Thor and the first Captain America from the event. I had the Avengers Captain America and the Avengers Thor, the first one.
I wanted that. I never got it because it just wasn't my thing that I was doing at the time. But I really want a Winter Soldier Captain America.
Oh, I bought the 2-pack of that, the stealth suit and and I've got the Winter Soldier here, but I need to, and I didn't buy any of the other figures. My Winter Soldier, I love this. The Winter Soldier figure is my favorite of the Winter Soldier figures. They've made, like, I don't like the Infinity War Bucky. You know, it's fine, but I finally busted down and I bought.
Yeah, you know, you want your star.
Yeah, I mean, you do.
You want your Russian star on it.
Yeah, I mean,
what you want. Yeah.
This figure is badass, and it comes with so many guns and accessories and stuff, and it even the head sculpt, you can't see it because I have it taken off.
He's wearing his mask originally because the whole thing was the reveal.
Yeah,
and it looks so much better with the mask on.
Yeah, and you can see that, like a lot of military figures, like this has a lot of weapons and a lot of. He's got knives and blades and things behind him, and it's very cool. This thing is very cool, and I didn't even take out all the weapons that he came with, like that circular gun.
Yeah, you get guns.
So
does he come with a cup of tea, Earl Grey hot?
He does not. But it's funny because Hot Toys has re-released more Buckies over the years, but I don't need another one. Like I'm not one of these guys like I have to get. Some collectors are like, oh, I have to have the entire Infinity War line. And I'm not. Are you that way? Are you a completist like that?
I want an Iron Man, and I want a Spider-Man, and I have the Spider-Man one that I want is the Homecoming.
Right, I didn't get that. I want that too.
And I'm on the waiting list, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. Luckily, I got accepted on the waiting list for the Darth Vader, which does have the base is actually the part of the severed platform from his fight with Luke. So I'm on the wait list for the Spider-Man, but the Iron Man that I want a 1-in-6 Mark III.
From Iron Man 1.
Or Mark IV. So I want a Mark III or a Mark IV with a donut box and the Stark head. And I can't get hold of either from Sideshow. So it's like you just got to keep checking the secondary market, but you want a decent price. You don't want to get
because they made the Mark III that's now die cast.
Yes,
and that's the
1-in-4 now, and I want a 1-in-6.
Yeah, and the one like one of my favorite Iron Man armors was the armor from Ultron from Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron, the one that actually goes into the Iron I bought the first iteration of that. I love that figure. I love it. And there's so many Iron Man armors, like, do you buy them all? And I'm like, I can't, all those die-cast ones?
Somebody will.
Oh, there's people that do. And you're looking at, Willow asks, if you were to buy all of even the die-cast Iron Man Hot Toys figures that have come out, it's got to be close to $10,000 now to get all those.
Without doubt, yeah. Without doubt.
Because, I bought like I love the Iron Patriot figure from Iron Man 2. They made that die-cast, which I have, but now the one time I love the Iron Patriot from Endgame. And it hasn't dropped yet. I'm just waiting to find out that, your Endgame figures, they're going to kick in starting. They haven't started charging me my monthly fee for it. So, yeah. But, I should probably I'll show something that I was talking about. I showed you because it is kind of show and tell. But one of my favorite things, I think anybody who knows this, anyone who's ever seen the Japanese anime Akira, knows that Kaneda and Kaneda's bike is one of the most iconic things ever. And many people have made toys of McFarlane made a Kaneda on his bike. There's been die-cast Kanedas on their bike. But what I always wanted was a 6th scale Kaneda and Kaneda on his bike. Now, about, I want to say 12 years ago or 13 years ago, there was a thing called Akira Project BM. And it was a collaboration, and I'm looking it up here.
You know what you've just made me think? What if they did a 1 in 6 Nanohana Shurya from Battle Royale?
Oh, dude, what I would give,
and a Takeshi Kitano from
So I think this was a collaboration between Sideshow and I want to say Medicom. I'm looking for the, so if you go on eBay, so I'm going to show it. I'm going to shift the camera here, and I'll show this. This is one of my favorite toys that I own. And again, if you go to eBay, I'm looking at eBay right now. The bike alone is $2,441.60 if you want to buy it now on eBay. Now, and what I'll show here is it lights up, it's got sound, and you can actually, there's an outlet in one of the tires where you can plug it into an external stereo speaker, like you can headphones like this, or you can plug it into your computer speakers so you can hear. But I'll show you. So here this is
for £528, which would be about $700, and that's just for the Shima.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here it is. This is one of the most expensive pieces in my collection. Here is Kaneda on his bike. Now it has, let me see if I get it. You got to turn it on. So here's the bike, and the light wells light up in green, and then if you can see the controls in the dash lights up. Now, if you hit the pedal,
nice.
So and that sound will you can plug. Let's see, I think the plug. This thing is ingenious, and I think the outlet.
Oh, wow.
So all of these are magnetized, revealing the cowling. So you plug in the speaker. It's not this side; it's the other side. But you plug it in, and then when you bought this, when it came out, the manga. This is the movie version, but the manga version came with all of these. The manga version had like 100 more stickers on the front. It was drawn with all the stickers. So this actually came with another set of cowl here that you could put all of the different stickers on it, like 100 more, like graffiti it up. Now I've never done that. I have that package, but then the Kaneda figure again is separate, and he comes with his gun, and he's got the drug on the back of the jacket that says "good for me" or "bad for education."
Yeah,
and this is one of my very favorite toys that I own. And again, it came out like 12 years ago. Now the one thing is, Medicom made this figure to look like it's from the anime. Mm-hmm. And whereas what Sideshow does is they'll take animated characters like the Clone Wars characters, they will make them look like real human beings to fit with the rest of their Star Wars line. So it would have been cool. I mean, this thing is so badass. It's really heavy, and the manufacturing is just awesome. And you can't get this anymore. I mean, like I said, eBay for $2,000. Like, who would ever? And I remember when this first came out, like 12 years ago. I saw this. I pre-ordered this shit. I think this was like, I want to say it was like $300 when it was first when it was new, something like that. And then the Kaneda was probably $150, and the Tetsuo was more. But I mean, and this whole thing, it like I said, it all pops off and everything comes. It's awesome. So this is one of my very favorite toys that I own, and
beautiful.
yeah, it's amazing. And all the fact that and you know what? It's 12 years old and it looks and feels brand new. Everything works great.
It looks like you've just picked it up.
I know, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's. I did just swift it before I put it on screen here, but
yeah, but you can tell that the tires have like no wear on them.
No, and Hot Toys had a problem. I mean, these tires are like this thick, rubbery substance, and they're really, really, really great. So, yeah. Let me say we got a few super chats when people are throwing in some questions. Let's see. John Argote Rodriguez says, unfortunately, I wasn't able to submit my film to your film festival. Adobe is taking an eternity to export. I just wanted you to know I sincerely tried. Well, John, I think you already paid your entry fee. And as an editor myself, I know how that is. And since I'm happy to, we'll accept your film if it's done and you've got it. Because why would you make a film, pay your entry fee, and if it's finished, that would be terrible not to do it. Mr. Tickletrunk says he spied dead links. I have to look in that. I don't know what that is. Mr. Tickletrunk also said, I can't wait until this show devolves into letting off steam about Star Trek Discovery. S-Beam says, I love that you got this show up and going. I, too, am a collector of Hot Toys. I also sculpt figures myself, and I would love to show off sometime. Hey, I'd come on the show. What was the last figure you put a payment on? Mine was the Third Doctor from Big Chief Studios via Sideshow. That's a good question. What did you last put?
I'm pretty sure I can tell you without checking, but I'm going to check just to make sure. Yeah. I ordered 2 Coruscant guards, which is the from the Clone Wars, the red variant, because they're the Coruscant ones.
The last figure I ordered was the Rick Deckard from Blade Runner that I showed you.
Yeah, Rob and I, we have like porn conversations, and we're not talking sexy ladies. We're talking figures. We're sending each other figures back and forth. Hey, I realized I have this, or I'm thinking of picking up this, and then we're like, "Whoa, look at this video if you want to check out this." I'm looking like, "Oh, right, okay." So we're doing like this all the time. But yeah, I mean, I would say since the last week, I've got the Darth Vader 1 in 6,
right,
on pre-order. I've got the hybrid Ewan McGregor.
Did you finally drop the green on that?
I dropped it. Yeah. Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But that's the Mythos figure where they make it.
Yeah.
It's a non-existent. It's non-canonical, but it's what did Obi-Wan look like for 10 years, but sometime between Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness.
Yeah, which is essentially going to be the Obi-Wan series.
But that figure is amazing.
Oh, when you sent the video, and when I watched that video, I was just like, I'd already hit pre-order. And then the two Coruscant guards, the two Coruscant guards from the Clone. I'm watching the Clone Wars, and I'm blown away about how good the Clone Wars is.
And it just gets better and better.
I'm on season 6 now, and it's just like getting heartbreaking.
Oh, season 6 is amazing.
Oh,
wait till you get to the end of season 7.
I did a throaty lump at one part in season 6 already.
Really? You big sap.
I know. I can't say why.
Right.
In case you haven't seen it. I was just like,
yeah, so let's see. That was Willow. Willow also says, congratulations on reaching your 2nd anniversary for Robservations yesterday. Thank you, Willow. Willow Yang is also a judge in our film festival, so she's going to has her work cut out for her. Danny Boy says, hi, guys. I'm on the waiting list for the classic 1978 Christopher Reeve Superman. I really hope they're true to his image. Well, which one is that? Because I have the Hot Toys Superman from Superman the movie.
Great.
I love that figure. It's gorgeous, and it's great. Tebios Toback says that HBO Max will be on Roku tomorrow. Calvin Wycliffe says I just got the Wasp hot toy from Ant-Man and the Wasp from my local comic store. I have 8 hot toys so far. Man, I want to get that figure. That's a really good figure. I don't have an Ant-Man, and I love Ant-Man. I just never got one. I need to get Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't think she's stateside yet, though. I don't know if anyone. Well, if you got it from your local comic book store, Calvin, I wonder if is that domestic? Is that here in the U.S.?
Australian.
It might be, because the Toys Wonderland is, if anyone wants to see hot toys and not buy them, you can go to another YouTuber I highly recommend, is Justin's Collection. And he's tied in with Toys Wonderland. I want to try and get Justin to come on my show. And maybe we should have him come on the show with the two of us. So you and I will be on the show with Justin.
I would drool over his,
Yeah, so Justin, if I might, let me offer you an invitation. We would love to have you on this show and geek out about hot toys, because I have to tell you, I have to go get a whole box of Kleenex when he does a tour of his entire collection. Because, the
tour videos, I can't even tell you.
Yeah, I look at that stuff and I'm like, wow.
It's like that scene in South Park where they just come in on Randy getting a little bit of internet. It's ghosts, ectoplasm, it's ghosts.
Yeah. Oh, the guys from Trek Yards are here. Hey, Rob, just stopping by to say hi. Which one, though? Who is there? Is it Captain Foley? Is it Samuel? But thank you for that. Thanks for supporting the channel. I guess it's Captain Foley because it's from Canada. Canada. By the way, if you do not ever, if any of you are Star Trek fans, the Trek Yards YouTube channel is amazing. I think about starships as my pornography. I love the bigger the warp nacelle, the more excited I get. And if you want to go to the Trek Yards YouTube channel, they do deep dives into starship design, and I can't recommend them highly enough. And then sometimes they look at ships from other movies. They once did a deep dive into the 50-mile-long vampire ship from Lifeforce. So go to Trek Yards, live them, love them, learn them, because it's one of my favorite sites on YouTube.
And a very specific, interesting part of that ship.
Yes, I do. 2 interests, actually.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I started with Matilda and ended with May, but yeah.
But yeah, it's
are incredible. Sorry, but they are.
No, I the most amazing. Can you imagine, like, you're trying to cast somebody for that role, and you could be looking at all kinds of people, and you're like, "Yep, where's that Matilda May hot toy?
Yeah,
where's the space vampire hot toy?"
She's leaning up from the deck to the table. Matilda.
I don't even know how she did that. How did she lean up so? I know she was actually a ballerina. She's a dancer, so she had those muscles. But that is one of the most breathtaking things in any movie ever. When she sits up on that table. You want to hear something interesting?
Patrick Stewart's first on-screen kiss.
But with a guy. With a man. It was he talks about that in our Next Generation documentaries, and it was very funny, because when I was actually interviewing him, and I was like, I know, when I said I love Lifeforce, he chuckled. He knew. He knew.
Yeah, you like Lifeforce. There's 2 reasons why you like it.
I like it too. But
it's canon, isn't it? It's canon movie. Is Lifeforce?
Well, you know what? It's like an old Hammer movie in a way.
Yeah, but it was done by Canon, wasn't it? Canon.
It was. It was the most expensive movie Canon ever made. It was $25 million. And Shout Factory released it on. I think Arrow actually also put out a Blu-ray in the UK. And there's 2 versions of it. There's an international version of it that I really like. It's about a half an hour longer, or 20 minutes longer, and I quite like it. It's goofy. I do too.
But this is a film that truly understands ramping it up, because it starts off and it's pretty slow, and by the end it's like, my hat. everything is everything. His freaking uncle is popping off now, and when they're in the cathedral at the end, and you've just got thousands of bodies everywhere. It's just like, holy shit, you know.
Oh, Danny Boy says that the Superman, the movie he's ordered, is the premium format figure. Have you seen that yet?
No.
It's amazing. Danny Boy says there's no specs available, but wow, that, you know, they do a good job. Now I used to get statues like, you know, 15 years ago. I've not delved into the statue world. There's one I'm getting, but it's a anime. It's a Robotech statue. But you have statues.
Yes.
Now,
right.
What do you think, as a statue aficionado, what is it that attracts you to, say, a statue? What are the things that you look for?
It kind of sounds, I don't know, this might sound really weird.
It's not on this show, as.
Yeah, true. It's the kind of dynamic nature of the statue. For instance, you know, we have great sculpts with the 1-in-6s and stuff. But when you get like a play on a character, like I don't know, I can't see myself. So like if I just zipped over there.
Oh man. Look at that.
Huntress, that is like a huge huntress.
Now is that quarter scale?
This is quarter scale, and this is from the Hush version.
Right.
And then the Batman is so well molded. And it goes in line with the Catwoman and the Batgirl. I don't know if because she's hidden behind there.
Yeah, but you can see it.
But she's got a great kind of stylized outfit. I don't know if I'm where I am.
Yeah, your camera's there. You go.
Right. Okay, I'm back down again. So they've taken elements of their costumes and just designed them as if they were regular functional costume. And I've actually just had an email saying Robin's coming tomorrow. Robin's coming soon.
Az must have hit. He'll be back. I'll put him back.
It's me.
You came back. There you go. What was really kind of interesting, when I lose you in this software, there's just a big question mark, which you're talking about. You're talking about Batman. It's like the Riddler has struck.
Yeah. The Robin's coming soon as well, so that's going to complete that sort of grouping. But the sculpts on them are just I just love the sculpt and the dynamic nature of them. And with these, you like posing them. With the you know the statues, I should say, you just want to look at them.
Right.
And appreciate them as they are. They are Michelangelo's David.
I feel the same way, because, you know, people, especially now, a lot of the statues, some of the clothes are even fabric on them, but the sculpting,
fabric cape.
Yeah, I mean, and not only is it, so there's two levels. You've got the character itself and the dynamic pose and all that, but there's also the idea of the artist and their interpretation of that character. And I think that it's like with a lot of the Chinese sculptors that work for Hot Toys. They're people that I love their head sculpting abilities. You know, and they'll say on the backs who sculpted the head. Yeah. And those are people that I never thought I'd be like, have you seen the sculpt by so-and-so? It's amazing. Like following their artists. And it's very difficult to capture these kinds of sculptures, especially facial sculpts when you're dealing with actors. I mean, a lot of it now is digital, obviously. Yeah. But there's a lot of, like with the statues, it's completely an artist's interpretation. And if you're going to buy a Prime 1 statue or a Sideshow statue, amazing.
Downstairs, I have the Azrael Batman, which I showed you. Over here, I've got the Geralt of Rivia. Downstairs, I've also got the Triss Merigold. And in its box, still downstairs, in its box, now arrived, is Mark from Battle of the Planets.
Yeah, you said it was too much.
Yeah, I'm in the process of trying to do something maybe next time we'll have it up and in.
Andrew Matthews says about the Huntress, thick thighs save lives.
Save lives.
That's right. I'm all about that. Keaton Carr 89 says, did you get any 6-scale Troy figures from Pangea? No, but I would love to get a Brad Pitt from Troy. That would be a cool figure to get. You know, it's frustrating because like Big Chief was going to do a Maximus from Gladiator.
Oh, that would be great.
And they canceled it. And I'm like, what? How could you have done that?
I'm waiting for my 1 in 6 McGowan prisoner.
You know, that's
how it's been made. I just don't know.
You know what we need to do? We need to crowdfund it. You and I, through our YouTube channels, we will crowdfund it, and we'll find our favorite sculptor from Hong Kong to do the ultimate McGowan sculpt, because that figure wouldn't be that difficult. All you need is the head sculpt and the clothes, and then just get like a true type body from Hot Toys or something. So, you know, but you'd need to have great tailored clothes. I mean, I would like to do it, dude. Let's go for broke. Let's do a 2-pack: Leo McKern and Patrick McGowan.
McGowan with interchangeable prisoner clothes and black polo shirt, gray suit.
And same with Leo McKern. You can have 3 different head sculpts for him. You know, if you want.
Well, you could have long head and
short head
sculpts.
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome. I would love that. And I'm surprised that, you know, I buy a lot of. There's a lot of. We should point out that there is a secondary market of people that manufacture tons of non-licensed figures, and mostly they come out of the.
A couple I like to show off later.
Oh, do you really? Why don't you show them off now?
Well, because I was going to say, since you showed off your Akira bike, I thought I would show off my Final Fantasy VII Daytona Cloud on Daytona.
Wow, look at that. That's gorgeous.
That is Cloud Strife from the Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is out this year. The double tire, which does its complete articulated turn. Kickstand, which goes up, and the Kai Arts figure is removable, of course, and fully articulate on the wheels. This one isn't the lighter one. This isn't the Fenrir from Advent Children. That I do have next door, and that is unboxed, and it's got its little display, which
that's really sweet, dude.
And opens back up as well. So yeah, there's since we're on the bike market, I thought I'd show that off. So unlicensed but amazing. Let's oh, you're frozen. Am I gone again? Who's gone? Are you there? I'm there. Is the White Wolf, aka 1 in 6 Geralt of Rivia.
Now Oh, right. So now explain that this is a third-party figure.
Yeah, this is a third-party figure. It's called the White Wolf because they can't call it Geralt of Rivia.
Right.
But they've used his nickname, which is the White Wolf. So these are the ways that you can kind of get around this. You don't want to see the bill. But I'm keeping this because it didn't come with a stand.
Right, that's when you have to buy the
Yeah. But there he is there. So this is his Witcher 1 outfit. So if you like, that
outfit looks pretty great though.
Oh, it's phenomenal. The sculpt, the head sculpt is crazy good.
Wow, that is beautiful.
And
are those like grenades? Does he have grenades in his bandolier up there?
Yeah. These are for the monsters that he fights.
Yeah, that's dope, dude.
Got his, silver sword for monsters. He's got his steel sword for humans. That's why a Witcher has 2 swords. He's got his glove, switch out glove, and then if you want, you can actually take those off and go with just hands.
Right.
Got a section of just hands. And this is just an absolute little beauty. Gary from Nerdrotic when I first showed him this was like, ah! And then about a week ago, I got a text from Gary, and it was just a picture of this, of him managing to pick one up. So I was like, "Whoa, well done, mate, well done."
I've always said that whenever I watch Gary Beekler's Nerdrotic, for those of you who don't know,
Yeah.
he now he tricked me, but did he move? Is his studio back? Is it a real studio where he's now set up again?
Oh, it's a real studio, but it's a different home.
Okay.
But he set it up to be like the old one.
Right, but when he just moved, he just left San Francisco, he had a blue screen background.
Green screen background. Yeah. And that fooled me one day. I was just like, have you gone back to San Francisco? I was like, no, it's green screen. He tapped it. I was like,
but is it now real again?
Now it's real. It's all real.
See, because what I love about watching Gary is I love watching his channel because I'm always looking in the background like, he like moved something around and he got a new figure, and I get all excited.
When he lifts the camera and you can get like a top down, he's got amazing stuff on the floor which you can't normally see.
Yeah.
Now this one is called Happy Face. So if we would take the
what's that as?
If we take the sleeve off Happy Face.
Are you going to put on a happy face? By the way,
sorry, did you say put on a happy face?
Oh, why yes I did.
Okay, well what happens if we take the happy face, put on a happy face and turn it around? Oh, we suddenly have a set diorama on the inside.
Wow.
From a certain talk show. And then, if I just take off the plastic there and this plastic net guard, we have...
Ooh.
So, I'm actually going to get this out. This comes with 3 head portraits. This is number 1 with the makeup dripping because he's been running through the street.
Yeah.
But look at that Cesar Romero-esque outfit.
Now, let me ask you something. Do you think it's kind of nuts that Hot Toys, obviously, they made the Nicholson Joker. They made 2. They made the Jared Leto Joker, and of course they made the Heath Ledger Joker, but there's no Joaquin Phoenix Joker, and that movie made $1 billion. $1
billion. They're releasing a couple of statues, but no 1 in 6 at the moment.
Do you have a theory as to why that is?
Who knows the politics that goes on? I don't know.
Maybe they didn't give likeness Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, yeah.
The revolver from the that he uses. There's the bunch of flowers that he takes with him. This, I think, is incredible. It's the mask. It's the mask that all of Gotham starts wearing when they're clowning it up, and that matches this one perfectly because that's when he took the mask from the subway when he had the runny makeup. That's the mask, in case you didn't see it.
That's just amazing.
And then the other 2 portraits that you get. Now, this one does actually come with a base. This one did come with a base.
That's a great third-party figure. Now, which third-party manufacturer makes that? Do you know?
Well, first of all, you've got Joaquin Phoenix.
That's a pretty great head sculpt.
Yeah. For a third-party unlicensed, that is pretty darn amazing. And then the other head sculpt that you get is makeup perfect and a nice grin.
I love that. That's really great.
Put on a happy face. So I'm gonna have a quick look to see where this one came from, but this is special. So This is staying in its box until it goes into a cabinet.
Yeah, absolutely.
This ain't getting a scrap of dust on it, not with that beautiful, vibrant costume.
So I have to say, we another super chat came in from Keaton Carr 89, and Keaton Carr 89 says, "Hot Toys used to be third party. George Lucas, laugh out loud." Well, Keaton Carr, what he is referring to is that when Hot Toys first started, they had done a Mission Impossible figure of Tom Cruise, and they did this figure. The director figure. Yeah. So this is the first Hot Toy figure I ever owned. I think I got it, I don't know, 16 years ago. This is circa, I want to say 2003.
Yeah.
And it is George Lucas, and he's got his flannel shirt on. He's wearing some jeans. And I actually, you can't, over on the other side, I have my Alfrex 7 Samurai figures here. And George Lucas is standing behind. Well, he's off camera, but he's standing behind my 7 Samurai because he's so influenced by Kurosawa. So he actually directed this action figure directed these action figures where and how to stand in their most dramatic pose. And if you can see in the back, way in the back, Tom Cruise as Nathan Algren from The Last Samurai has joined Yojimbo, Toshiro Mifune as Yojimbo, with the rest of the 7 Samurai, including another version of Yojimbo, or another version of Toshiro Mifune, because he's one of the 7 Samurai. So there you go. So Keaton Carr, don't think you can pull a fast one on us. The whole history of Hot Toys is represented somewhere in between our collections. Andrew Matthews sent in a super chat and says, "Sorry for the change of subject, but about your conversation about digital actors, did you see the film Looker in 1981? Did I see the film Looker? I went the Saturday it opened, and it was directed by Michael Crichton, who created Westworld, who wrote the novel The Andromeda Strain. He created ER. And if anyone has seen Looker, you got to remember the Sue Sad theme song. She's a looker. Wow, that's who she is. I mean, look that shit up. That's some peak early 80s. And Kim, I think was it Kim Carnes or Kim Wilde? The Kids in America, one of the Kims sang a version of Looker along with Sue Sad. And there you go. I love Looker. Oh,
Kim was a very, very early crush in life.
Word Nerd 711 sends in a super chat and says, FYI, I ordered Wasp from Sideshow in May of 2019, and it arrived here in New York a month ago. Well, that's good to know. I did not pre-order that Wasp figure, but I saw it, and I got to get that. And then Steve...
even wrote Clone Wars. They dedicated an episode to Kurosawa.
Oh,
they basically did the 7 Samurai,
right?
So they said this is dedicated to, it's actually said in loving memory of Kurosawa, but he died 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Let's see. Mr. Tickle Trunk sends a super chat and says, "Have you bought alternate versions of complete figures over the years, not just accessories? What made it worth it to have it or not, and why not? Or why?" That's actually a good question. Have you bought multiple versions of the same? I mean, obviously you're a Batman fan, so you have, yeah.
Yeah, I've got the Batman v Superman Batman. I've got the Justice League regular costume Batman. I've got the Justice League tactical suit Batman. I have the Batman v Superman Wonder Woman. And then I have the Justice League Wonder Woman. And the Justice League Wonder Woman has a much better Gal Gadot.
Gadot, yeah.
Gal Gadot has a much better Gal Gadot head sculpt, so that was the reason for that. And also, I really wanted the accessory of the coat. I really wanted the coat.
That's why I got her. I've never opened her, by the way. She's still up there. She's up on that shelf with the Flash and with Superman. And I've because in the Robservatory, I've got my glass cases, which are migrating in here, and
I'll tell you what, I'm tempted to get the Henry Cavill Man of Steel Superman.
I have that.
This is the
Oh,
Zod.
Now you got to put that close to the camera. This figure, this Hot Toys figure, the only thing I love this figure, except that expression on his face is a little. I wish they had a second head sculpt, but the rest of the figure is unbelievable. The armor, the Kryptonian armor, all three. They made 3 figures from Man of Steel. They made Superman, they made Zod, and they made the Russell Crowe Jor-El, which I love. And all of them have, and they introduced these new stands where you can have them flying, and those stands are also bendable. They bend. Yep. So I actually had at one point they were flying right towards each other. I had them displayed in my office when I was working on Accessory, and they were flying into each other as if they were going to throw down in the sky.
Really good as well.
Those are
with the Zod one, you also get that head sculpt.
Right.
So you could actually use it as one of the henchmen.
Right. Yes, you could.
So you could do that trick. But I look, I've got a thing for what's the name? Faya.
Oh, Fiora?
Fiora. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that German actress is.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm just dying. I wished they'd released a version of her.
I did too. I mean, it's really interesting because obviously female figures have traditionally not done well necessarily in the male space, but I really like I really like the Wonder Woman figures because the costumes are great. I like the tailoring. I like my Scarlet Witch figure, although the likeness, they're getting there. And I've loved the different iterations of Black Widow. And I'm looking forward to that. By the way, Throg, our friend Throg, who comes here, he always adds a new name to his name whenever he posts. He sends in a tip. Sexual Chocolate Throg says, "Wow, when is the sex toy discussion? I have to admit, my knowledge has wavered in 30 years. Just kidding. Congratulations on the new show, but this is toy or action figure porn. Laugh out loud. One more thing for Sarah to kill me for: Hot Toys figures." I mean, the funny thing is when you say, "Oh my God, I love Hot Toys figures," it sounds like they're sex toys. And I have to admit, I do get the same genre of thrill when I open a great action figure as I do, when I open a nice Elizabeth's blouse. So it is kind of in the same ballpark.
When the opening is, it's like the unclipping of a bra.
Although I have to say, I prefer my silicone in the shape of a movie or a television.
Yeah. Kind of an au naturel kind of a guy.
I am all natural. That doesn't mean I don't like maintenance, but I prefer the real thing. I love the direction this show goes into.
Oh yeah. I've got one last thing to show for today, and this is that's the true porn.
Well, it might be a little too unmanageable. But I was going to open this. I think I'm going to have to. I think I'm going to save this only because I realize the idea of opening this now, it's too unruly. Like I didn't realize how big it was. So
it might be worth getting out for the show.
Yeah, I mean, this is my Hulkbuster, and I realize it has. So this Hulkbuster is the second release. Like, this is a re-release of the Hulkbuster. This is when things are really bad. So I had pre-ordered the first iteration of the Hulkbuster, put money down, and was paying it off, and then had no money. Accessory happened. So then they eat your deposit, they take your deposit, and then they do refund your money. But my life was in such a dramatic economic tailspin, so I would not be denied this time. And
we're not denied.
I would not be denied. So I actually, this is very funny. Who uses cash, and I was kind of putting cash away. And that's how, and it was, and this took a long time to pay off, you know.
The PC.
Yeah, and it took a long time, and and then you get it, and as often happens, I was not in any position. Would it come out 6 months ago or something? I was in no position to open it because I've been moving around the Robservatory, and there's no, where am I going to, I don't, where am I going to, I don't even, where am I going to put it? So it's still sealed. There's a cellophane wrapping here that I've never even opened. So I after I have this, and I mean I could have been hit by a bus and died, and never, and to this day, I'm gonna have to set up a place where I can open this up and show it. But that
Yes,
day
you
will
are.
not be today. But here it is. Here it is.
Okay then. Well, we can't disappoint. I've even taken this out of its cabinet.
Ooh.
And this
Is that the quarter scale Hot Toys?
this is the 1 in 4.
Oh.
This is the 1 in 4 Batman
Here,
Begins.
hang on. I got it, dude. I got to go full frame on this. Ooh, look at that.
This
Now-
is the
Now, give us a little explanation. Explain the fact that Hot Toys not only makes 6 scale figures, but they do make occasionally quarter scale figures. And what is the appeal for you? Like, do you find when you go quarter scale?
I mean, the level of detail on this is just exceptional. I mean, absolutely exceptional. The quality. I know this is like plastic, but like the quality of the build
Yeah.
is obscene. It's amazing. The level of details, like here, you can see on the belt there are some batarangs.
Right.
These are all individually placed by me. These are individual batarangs which will come out of that casing. And then on the other side, there's actually a collapsible batarang which fits on. And this isn't even half of the details, by the way. And if I even
That
flip the
cape
plate-
is amazing, by the way.
Oh yeah. Then you can see I've actually got the gas gun,
Yeah.
the grappling hook, which attaches onto the back, which is detachable. The cape is beautiful, and it is magnetically sealed at the top by the 2 straps
Yeah.
there and there. The head is interchangeable to a Bruce Wayne head. Comes with a balaclava which can go over the Bruce Wayne head.
Wow.
So you take off the cape, you put on the spelunking outfit that he had, plus the
Oh.
Bruce Wayne head, plus the balaclava. You've got the first iteration of Batman that he used to go into Gordon's office with in the movie.
Now, does he have removable? You see his face. Does he have different face pieces that are magnetic that you can swap out?
I'm not sure. I can't remember, to be honest. But what he does do when he's in his cabinet, he holds the Joker card,
Wow.
which has got its police tag on, evidence tag on. And the amount of accessories for this is, you just can't get them all out. And the base itself is, I keep worrying that I'm gonna break the
Wow, that base is rad. Look at that.
you got that beautiful base there.
Can you hold it up a little bit, because your lower third where your name is? Can you just hold it up
where
like
do you want-
there you go, there you go.
There.
Wow, that's really cool.
And this was one of those things, because I mean I love the Nolan Bat films. And the first iteration of the costume I think is fantastic. I think it's really brutal. I think it's a very brutal Batman outfit. But when I just saw it in the 1 in 4 and the absolute level of detail that was put into this.
Oh, amazing.
And then the kind of when I say affordable price, considering the price of a 1 in 6.
Yeah.
And I think this was, I'll check. I've got my slideshow open, so let me just check. Let's go to fucking hell, this tab. It's just like so much stuff.
I mean,
dude.
I don't think if you were to try and get that now, that's got to be close to $1,000.
Well, I think it's yeah, I don't think you can get it
But on the secondary market.
Oh, hold on. Maybe this is one of the very, very earliest things that I ordered. So it's not on.
Now, did you get the Batman Dark Knight Rises 6-scale DX figure?
No, I'm on the waiting list for the Joker.
All right.
But I've been on the waiting list for the Joker for a long time. Yeah, here it is, actually. This is the yeah, I didn't think it was this one because of the affordability of the this is the God, this is crazy. So if I was to purchase a 1 in 6,
right,
it would cost me approximately 200 pounds. It would cost me
for Batman Begins.
Well, the 1 in 4, 370. So for the 1 in, so for a much larger,
but even now you can still get the quarter scale for $370.
Oh no, it's gone. It's sold out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that costs like $1,000 now.
Yeah, if I was gone on eBay now and put 1 in 4. Sorry, I got my microphone in the way, so it looks like I'm typing.
No worries.
Batman Begins.
I was gonna. I just tipped my hand. I was gonna show another figure.
Where's that one from? If that's someone's selling one for 500.
A bargain.
Yeah, and somebody's selling one for 450 at the minute. But I'm a little. I bought this for Ben when it came out. Never got around to displaying it. It still has the original sticker on the box. So it's about 500, between 450 to 500 at the moment.
Wow, that's not. Wow, I and the thing is, quarter scale. That's good. That's not bad.
That's incredible.
Because I've got quarter scale. Like I've got a quarter scale Darth Vader, Boba Fett, Terminator T-1000, and a battle damage Terminator. But my favorite quarter scale figure that I have, that I'm going to have to show at some point, was Kamen Rider, which is an old Japanese, one of the first Japanese motorcycle riding. He looks like a green grasshopper. And but the one thing that I wanted to bring up and show too, that in addition to Hot Toys figures, I love unlicensed figures from movies. That no major company would ever license. And one of my favorites, and obviously you got to give a pass to the head sculpts, but
nice.
Here is Javier Bardem for No Country for Old Men.
For Old Men, yeah.
And I actually think the head sculpt and the hair is actually pretty damn good. And he comes with the cattle, the pneumatic cattle thing, what he kills people with. And I got to hook this back up. But here's the actual, the gas canister. And when I saw this, I'm like, the fact that somebody made a Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men, I'm like, oh, I have to have that. And I've got a lot of figures. Like I have a Medicom made the Japanese villain from Ridley Scott's Black Rain. The movie Black Rain. I have that figure, and I will buy when I, of course, can afford it, because I'm not worth $15 million according to the internet. By the way, anybody who's heard me say that, don't dispel the idea that I'm worth $15 million. I would like people to to believe that. But I mean, hell, I am not. But I do love movie figures, and that's what I love to collect. That's why the Nathan Algren, and what I find that's kind of a bummer is, like, I would love to have Logan's Run figures. I would like to have Logan's Run, Logan, Francis, Jessica, because who doesn't want a Jenny Agutter figure, and Box.
Oh, yeah.
And like they made a Ripley from Alien, but I want the entire crew of the Nostromo. I want Captain Dallas, and I want Parker, and I want Ash. But why would you make those figures? They're not exactly the most exciting figures in the world, but when you're displaying these things, I think the philosophy, when you're buying a Hot Toys figure, you're buying it to symbolize not just the character, but the whole movie. The whole experience of seeing the movie is recreated by a figure on your shelf. And when they made that great Ripley figure with the rooted hair, that's great that I have. She's over there. It comes with Jones the cat, and she comes with the flamethrower. And when you put her up on the shelf, I mean, she looks badass, and you're like, that's Alien in a nutshell. But it would be cool if I could. There's a production, a publicity still of all the characters from like Aliens and Ripley, like standing looking like badasses. Hot Toys did make all of the Colonial Marines back about 15 years ago, but they didn't have the likeness rights. So they didn't. The bodies and the armor was perfect, but the head sculpts not at all what they were supposed to be. And I'd love it if they redid all their Alien figures, but they probably won't.
But if they have the license, whether they want to. But like I said, it's demand. That's the all-encompassing reason that you would release something. I'd like them to release all the cast of Discovery.
Would you?
And see if anyone's see if a single one sells.
I don't know if that would ever happen. But yeah, it gets.
Let's just make Mikey Burnham's.
Calvin Wycliffe says yes, it's in the U.S. Oh, the Wasp figure. They have it for $251 at Sideshow. Well, I'll have to wait. I have to tell you, I don't know if Elizabeth is watching this right now. My girlfriend. I did use all of my Hot Toys or my credit at Sideshow. I finally had enough credit to get a figure. I didn't use it for myself. I used it for my girlfriend as part of her Christmas present, which, by the way, was painful. And I'll admit that that represented a lot of work. Those points. But so Sideshow does give you
spend a lot of money on myself to buy you something.
But I'm not going to say what it is, but I did get her.
I really tried.
No, she had another good present, but and it's going to come today, and I don't want her to know what it is. So you know how sometimes if you get, it's not a Hot Toys figure, it says on the outside what it is. I'm like, if she sees it, I'm going to be really bummed because I'm very excited to get it for her. I did give her my third season Tyrion Lannister. What's that?
Somebody said I saw it in the chat saying I like the John Wick figure. I got the John Wick one over there.
I need to get that. I didn't, again, it's during this pandemic, not a lot of figure buying going on. but I mean, I've done if I started a process, it's always hard because I do live with three ladies, teenage girls, and Elizabeth, and college to pay for and bills to pay. Like George Michael sang, I've got bills to pay, I've got things to buy, and you're hanging out with some creepy guy. Shut up, chick. That's a friend of mine. Watch your mouth, babe. You're out of line. DHSS.
Well, like I said last week, look, this is why I can't have a girlfriend, because that's an expense.
But wouldn't a girlfriend be the ultimate fully articulated hot toy?
Oh yeah, sure, but you want the set. You want the set. You don't just want to look at one. You want the set.
Yeah, you got to have all of them. But I think, well, listen. I mean, I don't want to keep you forever, but for another, this has been, I think, a very fun trip through. And next time I am going to unbox this.
Get it out. Well, get it out ready. So
yeah, I will. And also I have my Jazz Inc. I've got my Jazz Inc. Millennium Falcon cargo hold diorama that's over here, which I could. Again, it kind of has to be set up because it's all in pieces.
I might. Right. Thank you, Alex.
But yeah, let me see if we got people. Trekyard says, thanks for the shout out, Rob. And it's me, Captain Foley. Live long and prosper. Hold diorama that's over here, which I could. Again, it kind of has to be set up. You're broadcasting me now.
Oh, sorry.
But that was kind of funny.
I'm just wondering if the mic sounds bad. Am I coming through the webcam instead of my?
No, you sound great.
Oh, I sound great. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay.
Keaton Carr says Keaton Carr 89 says he kit bashed a Spielberg figure on his YouTube channel. Ooh, I'd like to see that. S Beam says can't wait for the Wonder Woman 84 hot toy. Yes, but which one did you get?
I got the standard Wonder Woman.
The sculpted hair is a great adjustment. My last arrival was the Endgame Black Widow, and she's amazing. I didn't order that, but that's a good figure.
Well, the going back, the Wonder Woman 84 one has a sculpted hair,
right?
Where the hair on the other two Wonder Women are not. They are like fibrous hair.
Yeah, rooted hair.
So at least with this one, it has a better shape. It will have a better shape.
I did get the Wonder Woman armor, the flying armor, the Kingdom Come armor that they have adapted, which is badass. But of course, they didn't pay Alex Ross, as he was complaining about, which she's right too.
Well, if you do take this is
no, I know if you do take it's a work for hire.
Yeah, screwing people. There've been so many people screwed over with shit like that.
And you'd think, I have to say,
Tom Paris is this. He is the same character.
He's Nick Locarno. Nick Locarno from the first Duty, and you know why they did that?
Because they would have pay the writer of the episode.
Every episode of Voyager, they'd have to pay for Nick Locarno. And I kind of think that's shitty because it's clearly the same character, the same backstory, having a problem with their father, and then they screw you over. And I think that while I get it, it ain't show friends, it's show business. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. But it's still, it feels unclean to me when people do that.
It's a dirty one.
And I'll tell you something. Marvel, to give all credit, I'm a big MCU fan. Do I think all their movies are genius? No, but what they've done is they've accomplished what they set out to do. And I have to tell you, if you watch Iron Man 1, which is a fairly intimate story about one man growing up, and the whole conflict of that movie is with his mentor, family mentor, and at the end it's two guys beating each other up over the soul of this company. And then you go to Endgame, you see like the transition. It's astonishing. I mean, it's what they did as a lifelong comic book reader. The MCU, the designs of the costumes, all that stuff. I mean, I'm a huge fan. But what the MCU does is if you look in the credits, all of the writers and artists that they drew from for that particular film are all in the end credits. Now, they probably get some kind of stipend. I mean, Jim Starlin, who created Thanos, is in Endgame. He's in the in Endgame in the therapy session when Captain America is talking to Joe Russo about dating a man. Like, how are you feeling? But the man who created Thanos is in the scene. And like they do that. I like that when Bryan Singer did that with Len Wein in Days of Future Past. And it's always nice when the creators are honored. And
absolutely. Yeah.
I think it's important. And Marvel and Kevin Feige and Louis D'Esposito and Victoria Alonso, they have been very good about making sure that those, I don't know how much money they get, but it's very nice that they're acknowledged.
Crisis was Marv Wolfman, wasn't it?
Yes, Crisis was Marv Wolfman.
Yeah, they gave him he had a cameo in the the CW, the CW Crisis.
Yes, he did.
I was like thinking, it's lovely to see you, but I'm just thinking to myself, are you just thinking, what have they done with my beautiful piece of work?
I know. Well, I don't want to keep you. I've already kept you a long time. This has been a over 2-hour show. I know you. Are you streaming again tonight there in the UK?
No, I'm going to bed.
Oh, you're going to go to bed. Well, I don't know. Are we gonna do the Prisoner miniseries? What are we gonna do?
I don't know. I think we're gonna have to have a chat. We're gonna have to have a chat and see what we're gonna do next time.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we could. I think these two shows have been great. You know, we did one on your channel, this one, but I would like to continue. I mean, doing stuff like this, it would be a lot of fun. Like if we could get Justin from Justin's channel to come on, like we'd have to do a stream together where all three of us can talk about hot toys, because one, I think it'd be a lot of fun to just pepper him with questions.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you know when you get context?
You know, just it would be a lot of fun.
Do you have any codes for us?
Yeah. Can we get free? He's always pushing. Like, I want to know. Like, he became very anti sideshow, and I'm very I'm very pro sideshow, and he's always pushing Toys Wonderland. And I understand they can get the stuff, but they're more expensive. There's the Australian. I have to tell you, I had an experience.
You won't be paying import fees. I have to pay import fees on everything.
Yeah, and you have VAT, right?
Yeah,
that's yeah. So I have to tell you, I did have an experience based on your recommendation. The one statue that I pre-ordered, they said because of COVID, it wasn't going to come out until March, and I ordered this thing over a year ago. Because a lot of people, Elizabeth thinks I'm always pulling her leg when I said, I ordered this a year and a half ago. And I really do. You know, you really do order these things. Well, there was a particular, I'd never ordered a statue. This was one I wanted. It was a Prime 1. I've never bought a Prime 1 statue. I ordered it over a year ago. And then because of COVID, I was told that it wasn't going to be here till at least March of 2021.
Yeah.
I figured, oh, great. That gives me time to, you know, save or whatever. And then I got an email like last week that said, nope, it's showing up this week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am in no financial position to buy anything. It's Christmas.
You'll have $1 million.
Yeah, because I'm worth $15 million. So, but no, I am not in any position to do. I just paid my phone bill, and I'm like, oh, thank God. But the rent.
Yeah, but, as long as you get your bills paid, I'm like,
yeah, as long as the bill's paid, it's all good. But so this thing was coming in, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And you were like, well, you know, Sideshow's really good about that. And so I did call, and I've been a customer of them for 15 years. And what's scary, like Amazon, they have a record of everything you've ever bought.
Oh, hell yeah.
You can go back and look and see.
Look at my face every time I log in.
I'm like, oh, I went 15 years ago, I bought this. It's frightening. But what was really interesting, and I promised I would not convey the actual numbers. So the customer service there is great. I was talking to this really nice girl, very perky. She was helping me out. She helped me out. She solved my problem. She felt my pain and solved my problem. And I said to her, I go, what, because it was customer service. I go, what kind of conversations do you usually have with people? And she goes, well, you know, a lot of people are irate, but they want to know about when their item is going to arrive.
Yeah.
When are they going to get it? I'm like, okay, I get that. I understand that. And what is it lately? And she said, well, there's really only one product people have been calling in a lot about. And I said, let me guess. Let me guess. I bet it all has to do with the Mandalorian. And Sideshow has released the original Mandalorian without all the Beskar armor. Now there's the full-on 6-scale Beskar armor with the child that hasn't quite arrived yet, but that was something, again, I pre-ordered a while ago. And then there's now they have the quarter-scale Mandalorian and child, which I didn't order, but what a great figure. But it's the full-size 1-to-1 scale Grogu, the child figure.
You want to say Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. The 1-to-1 scale Baby Yoda. The numbers, and we can't say it. I think I told you what the numbers. Did I tell you that? Yeah. When I heard that, how many of those they've sold, the number is so. Now, when I say the number, you think about figures like they make 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. That's a big run of figures. But the number for the Grogu figure was so staggering to me. And when you start calculating, it's like $400 and how many they made. And it's going to take them, like people are wondering, well, how long? They had no idea how many figures they were going to have to manufacture. It was so out of the realm of their experience. And I'm just thinking, I can't even imagine, because if you're new to this and that figure, your 1-to-1 scale Baby Yoda was the first thing that you ordered, and someone tells you that, yeah, you're not going to get it in a year. I can only imagine the kind of phone calls they have to field at Sideshow. These poor people dealing with.
I have one downstairs in my front room, unopened.
So you were one of the first people, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I have
a run of it. Yeah.
I have a one of their busts. I have a Sideshow 1-to-1 scale Yoda bust, a Yoda that's over there, and I need to get a 1-to-1 Baby Yoda to go next to him, because I love, people that have watched his channel know that I had him behind me with a baseball hat on, a Free Enterprise baseball hat on for the longest time. He's over there. I love my 1-to-1 scale Baby Yoda, or my real Yoda. But man, I can only imagine the frustration people have. Like, they had no idea how many of these things they were going to have to make.
No, it's
tens of thousands of 1-to-1 scale Baby Yodas.
My mark from Battle of the Planets is like 203 out of 350 or something, or for the exclusive version. It was such a contained number, and then the Baby Yoda ones.
Yeah, the statue that I got, I think it's like one of 300 or something. And you look at these Prime 1 statues, that's all they're making, and even Hot Toys figures they don't make nearly Baby Yoda. And that's how I know how successful The Mandalorian is. You see a lot of YouTube channels talking about the lack of merchandise. The reason nobody bought a lot of figures from the sequel, the Disney's sequel Star Wars trilogy, what is there to buy? There's no new hero starship. Like, they brought back the Millennium Falcon, but we didn't get anything new. And the characters were not that interesting. Like, everybody bought the Luke, the Han, the Leia. They didn't buy Rey, and some people bought Kylo Ren, but for the most part, those figures, you can still get stormtroopers.
I got a box in a cupboard in that room. You can tell I'm not arsed. It's in a cupboard, and it's a bunch of Force Awakens figures.
Never opened?
Shitty investment. No, of course they're not opened. What a shitty ass investment that was. I was thinking, just keep these 10, 15 years. Who knows? Go up a little bit with this Star Wars revival. God, thanks. Fucking Jar Jar. Fucked up my investment, my retirement fund. So there was a point where I was eBaying them. I was eBaying them at one point because I just could not be bothered with them anymore. Just get them out, get rid. No one would take them.
Yeah, I know.
No one would take them. So I was like, great, I'm just going to keep them. I'm going to keep. I'm not selling them for like $1 a bloody figure, But it was like, that's kind of where I was going to get if I wanted to shift them. It was like, get them away. So they're just boxed up and in a cupboard now.
I know. I mean, that's why, buy what you love, collect what you love, only collect what you like. If you're in this game for investment, get into real estate instead.
Yeah.
It's
probably real estate, something when you might actually make $1 or $2.
Yeah. Well, I will let you go to bed. I want to say thank you for being my guest on the first episode of Fully Articulated. This was a lot of fun. It was very nice to geek out with you across the pond, and that we're all still sequestered away. But in a way, I kind of like the fact that now being at home, you have more time to play with yourself and your toys. So
I think tonight I might just snooze, but who knows what tomorrow may bring.
Well, I really want to see your Battle of Planets mark opened up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something's gonna happen in this office real soon, and I'd very much like Mark to be up here.
I mean, I maybe when you open it, you could make some kind of a video and drop it online.
Yeah.
I think
I did that with my. Oh, I did that with my Nightfall Batman.
well, if you do that and put it up, I will link to it. And
I totally forgot.
I think that you should.
Let me just see if I can find the video.
I'm still reeling from the Akira bike selling for $2,441. I'm like, oh, well.
Batman. They're an unboxing. Trailer breakdown. Batman. Show 15. Let's have a look. Am I imagining this?
I don't know. I couldn't.
I might be going crazy. I'm going to put an unboxing. Let me just do unboxing. Let's see what that brings up. 38 unboxings there. There's my YouTube one. Thanks, YouTube. There's the Geek Fuels. There's the Death Stranding. I have gone. Did I? Anyone who knows me?
I don't know what to say.
I think in my head I did. I'm just wondering. Did I do it on my? It wouldn't have been on my second channel. I'm sure I did, but I just gotta think.
Well, okay.
I'll send you the.
I think you should do it unboxing and Mark though.
Oh, it could do. It's gonna be nice. It'd be nice to do a little.
Be good.
Stinky do.
So, do you have anything? First of all, do you have anything coming up that you're waiting for? What's the next figure you're going to acquire, or as Justin would say, your next figure? What is your next figure, Ash?
Yeah.
What is it?
Right. Well, Robin's meant to be coming.
Now, is that the Robin from Titans, or is that the statue?
No, that's now. Then this is the Robin to go with those Prime One. And it's got an interchangeable portrait, so you could have the Damian Wayne.
Oh,
you could change the portrait and have a Tim Drake.
Wow. Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah, so it's cool that they can do that. They want to ship it this week, and I'm kind of like, can you ship it in the new year? So I'm probably going to have a call.
Yeah,
just ship it in January the 1st or something.
Well, everyone thinks everything's a Christmas present. For us, it's like, no, it's for us.
No, these are for us.
It's for us. Save your postal service for those who need it more than we do.
And I'm really hoping, but it's not going to come until mid next year, probably at the earliest. I'm really wanting my Captain Rex to.
The Hot Toys Captain Rex.
That
is a very tasty figure.
But I've got. There's a bunch of Clone Wars stuff which I've got on order. So
yeah.
After the Robin, I don't know. It's a lottery because my series been put back. Another Prime One statue. Great. Where the fuck's that going to go?
Yeah, I know.
So my series been put back constantly. My Batman Hush, of course. They sent me 2 instead of 1.
Yeah.
I contacted them because I'm not a naughty boy.
You're an upscale member of the community.
Yeah. I contacted them and said, "Hey, you actually shipped me 2 Batman Hushes, not 1." And they said, "Okay, hold on." And then they came back and said, "You can keep it
or sell it."
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah, you know what? It's always good to have 2 figures.
Yeah. So I don't really know what to do with that, but I have one coming tomorrow. I have a hot toy coming tomorrow.
And what do you have coming?
It is a Death Trooper.
Oh, I want one of those. I need to get one of those.
Yeah, it's actually arriving tomorrow. I've had an email, and I was really hoping because I got an email on Monday night saying we're shipping it. here are the import fees. I paid the import fees immediately.
Yeah.
Normally, when you do that, you can get it. You might get it a day earlier. So I was hoping it was going to arrive for today's stream, but no, we'll deliver it tomorrow. Even though it's been in the UK since 5:30 this morning.
That's a great figure, by the way. That Death Trooper
looks awesome.
Yeah, Justin talked about that figure. Talked about how good it was.
Yeah,
all right, well, listen, I'm going to let you go. We're going to end the first episode of Fully Articulated. Thank you for a wonderful 2 hours, or almost 2.5 hours. I think we can't even talk to each other unless it's a 2.5 hour conversation.
Yeah, a 2 hour show means 2.5 hours.
Yes, and I want to thank everybody, first of all, for supporting the channel. I want to thank my moderators, the Richard, Robert Pariso. I don't know who else is here, but thank you all for being here for this new show. And yeah, somebody mentioned you can write these off. We can write these off, which is always a good thing. That's something else to keep in mind. Tax write-off. This is legit. And, the future of this show, I don't know what it's going to be. I know that part of it is going to be Elizabeth, my girlfriend, opening up my Hot Toys figures before I have and playing with them in front of me, which I can't imagine anything more painful other than having electrodes hooked up to my testicles and being shocked. Terrible. But we'll have to see what you guys say. Do we keep going? I mean, is Fully Articulated going to be a show? And we will figure out what we are doing next. And other than that, I do want to say, where can people find you?
You can find me over at Hill vs. Babyface on YouTube, at Hill vs. Babyface on Parler, Heel _versus _Babyface on Instagram.
Well, thank you for that. And people are here so they know where to find me. I want to remind everybody to go to the channel and watch all of the films for the first Intergalactic Imagination Connoisseurs Film Festival. Entries are closed. I'm putting all of them up, and they just get better and better. I actually watched an entry to the film festival that's going up at midnight. It'll be going up 9 o'clock. I think 9 o'clock Pacific time on Friday night. I watched a film that somebody sent me for the festival that I jumped. The end of it actually made me jump. And I was like, wow, congratulations, filmmakers. And that was something that I think we're all going to love watching. And it's called There's Something in the Silence. And I was like, wow. So that's pretty cool. Well, I want to thank Az for being here. I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel via Super Chats and tips. And thank you all and for being here. I appreciate it. We had a lot of people here for the show. I hope you guys had a good time. We'll do more of it. Send your questions to us about action figures. You can send me letters. I'll read them on the air at theburnettwork.net. Go to my website. There's a place to submit letters and send them to both either myself or Az. I will pass them along to Az, and we will answer all of your questions about your favorite 1/6 scale fantasies. And on that note, I will say to all of you,
it's 1/6 scale.
Don't stop playing with toys. If you do, you die. Oh. There you go. That was a terrible sign-off. I got to come up with something better.